Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday night rock and call. As you guys know, my name is Jana Garcia, and this is Rod. He's my husband, and he is going to be hosting the call with me tonight, as well as a few other people that we are going to call on. We wanted to come to you tonight and talk to you about what we learned at Leaders Retreat this past weekend. We had a really great time at Leaders Retreat in Orlando, and several of you that are on the call were there with us. And we had the privilege of hearing from John Maxwell, who is a very well known motivational speaker and very knowledgeable in leadership skills and teaching about how to become a better leader, how to grow your business, stuff like that. He has many books on leadership that I'm sure many of you have read or been members of groups that were all about John Maxwell's 5 laws of leadership and lots of different ones. So that's who our speaker was while we were there. And we're going to talk a lot about that. We're also going to talk about the company and different things that we learned while we were there, new things coming out and stuff like that. So I wanted to ask Rod, this was your fourth Leaders Retreat to go to. The first Leaders Retreat that I went to without him, and that was 5 years ago. So this was my fifth one to attend, and it was his fourth. So what did you think about Leaders Retreat this year?
I think it was phenomenal. I mean, the key speaker, John Maxwell, was probably for me obviously the highlight of the event. I think they chose a very good speaker for that event. I mean, there was things that I heard from him that I didn't ever hear from other people. And I think the way he spoke, I've mentioned to somebody, I'd never seen so many people taking notes because he was putting out information that was evidently needed by everyone. So it didn't matter if you were a diamond or if you were a silver and you were at Leaders Retreat. He put out information that was very useful.
Yeah, I agree. And they say you need to talk a little bit louder when you talk. He's got a very low voice, so he's kind of hard to hear. But
it's one of those voices that'll put you to sleep.
So what I really liked about him was that I did take notes, but my notes were just really compacted. Normally I take 10 to 20 pages of notes, but with his I only took it was maybe 4 pages. But the notes that I took were so great that I've gone back to them several times this week and just really read over them and saw that what he brought to us was so beneficial that's what was great about it. It wasn't just pages and pages of notes that you never go back and read again. It was actual stuff that you can use. And so I'm going to go over some of the highlights of what he spoke about. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and because we're talking about him, I want to read to you guys a few things that I got from some of the leaders on our team. Today, I asked several leaders what was the highlight of the John Maxwell talk that they got out of it. And so I'm going to read some of the things. Some of the things are things that I'm going to talk about, but they're things that they took away. So Kathleen Hepler, who is a diamond on our team, she said that her favorite was him saying that posting asking for people to join your team, you aren't going to get self-starters. Leaders aren't jumping in to join you because they're already leading doing something else. You need to reach out to them. It is based on your leadership who you attract. And that was an amazing thing that we learned, that people who are passionate, who are going to be people on your team that will eventually become jewels, are not necessarily out there looking to join you or to join a company. They're busy doing their own thing, being leaders. Being leaders at whatever else it is that they're doing. So reaching out to them is what is really important. And then I asked Amy Kosmowski, who is another diamond on our team, and she said, we teach what we know, but we reproduce who we are. And that was another big thing that we took away. And he said that you're going to attract what you do. So if you're a producer, you're going to attract producers. If you're a manager, you're going to attract managers. You have to get out there and be who you want to have on your team. That was a really great one. Christine Savicki, who is a Sapphire on our team, she said she loved when he said, all leaders see more than others. All leaders see more than others, see, and they see before others see. So that's what distinguishes you as a leader, is that you see things before they happen. You see the future. You can see what's going to happen on your team. Let's see. Erin O'Keefe, who is a diamond on our team, she says that we need to equip people better, to teach them that they have to be trainers to compound our businesses. That is huge. Each person that is on this call, if you want to grow your business, you have to be a trainer, meaning you have to learn what it is that you're going to teach everybody else. You can't just be always the student. You have to learn how to be the trainer. And that was really good. Lisa McKeever, who is Sapphire, she's my sponsor. She liked that each level of leadership is based on where you are in your leadership level. She likes the line about not being a travel agent, sending people someplace that you haven't been. In other words, the same thing we talked about before, in that you can't ask other people to do what you're not doing. And that was really huge. So I just kind of want to go over my notes a little bit, because I highlighted a few things, that some of the things they said as well. But he talked about 5 levels of leadership, and it's so important. We posted that in the Rockin' Group the other day, but it's so important to find out where you are on that leadership ladder to see where you need to be next. But one of the things he says is how well you lead determines how big you will be, how successful you will be. How much success you will have depends on how well you lead. So that's what we talked about earlier, is learning where you fall in that leadership level. And then that way you can figure out where you need to grow. Leadership is a daily thing. It is not a one-time event. It's lifelong. So that means you have to learn how to be a leader. Every day you have to be growing in your leadership abilities and have to be training yourself. So the levels go like this. Level 1 is the right as a leader. You've signed somebody up, and they're going to follow you because you're their leader. You've signed them up. You haven't done anything to earn that, but because of your position in the company, you've signed them up, and so they're going to follow you based on that. Level 2 is permission. People follow you because they want to. If you're a good leader and you're getting out there and learning, people are going to follow you because they want to follow you. They like you. You're going to be a good listener. You're going to learn and lead. And then you're observing very well. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me what you're going to do. Show me what you are doing, and serving really well. Level 3 is production, meaning results, meaning you're producing. People follow because of what you have done for the organization. That's level 3. And you can read all these in the thing that we posted. But this group right here says managers try to solve problems, leaders create momentum. So look at yourself right now and think, am I managing to try to solve problems, or am I creating momentum on my team? That is a huge one, because if ever you get to the point where all you're doing is solving problems and you're not creating momentum, your business is not going to grow. This is what Amy says, when you become a producer, you attract producers. And then level 4 is people development, reproduction. People follow you because of what you have done for them. So you're reproducing leaders. And level 5 is the pinnacle of all leadership, and that's respect. People follow you because of what you represent. And so basically when you get to level 5, the company is portraying you as the leader that you are, because you're at the top of the company, and you're going to gain respect just from that. So find out where you are on that leadership ladder and figure out where you need to go next. what kind of things do you feel like that are important to know about being a leader? Like, what did you take away from what he said about being a leader?
Well, if you go to your first page of your notes, the part about there's two things: the law of the lid, which he talked about. Can you hear me out there? The law of the lid, where he was it was good because he said if you're a level 5 leader, everybody in your organization is going to be 4. You're not going to have people above you. You're going to be the cap pretty much of what your organization is. And so if you want to be a 7 or 8, to get to that level, you'll attract better people, and more so, you'll be making leaders, hopefully, of your fellow team members. The second thing was on the first one, which is level 1, where I think it was like 80% of the people get stuck there. They get the title, they become senior gold or whatever, and they kind of decide, okay, I'm going to sit here for a while and manage, and then they don't go anywhere. And so that to me was kind of eye opening, because that's a lot of people sitting in one place and not moving.
Right. And then what we said earlier, leaders aren't looking for you; they already have a job. So you have to go looking for them. And so he said to develop a profile of who you are looking for. And so you're going to write down, what kind of people you want on your team, and then you have to be that kind of person. And so that's another thing, like what Rob was just saying, is that you're going to attract whatever level you're at. So if you feel like you're a level 5 leader, you're going to attract all the people that are 4 and down. If you want to attract higher level leaders, you're going to have to become that higher level leader. And that was so huge to me, because I have a lot of people on my team that are stuck at whatever level that they're at. And a lot of times, I wasn't a leader before I started Plexus. I was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't know what I was doing when I started. I had to really get out there and grow myself into the leader that I am now. And I'm still growing and I'm still learning, and I make a lot of mistakes and I'm not perfect. But there's a lot of times where people will come to me and I don't really know how to help them all the time. But I learned a lot from John Maxwell in that I have to tell them that they have to do enough self-growth to grow themselves into the leader that they want to attract. And so if you're stuck where you are, it's because you're stuck in your self-growth and you haven't grown yourself into that leader that you want to attract. Nobody's going to come join your team if they're at a higher leadership level, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for high level leaders. If you're not at that level, you're not going to attract those kind of people, because they're looking to be around people that are a higher level of leadership than what they are. And so that's what you have to grow yourself into being. And so I love that part of it. I also want to talk to a few people that were there this past weekend. I've already told them who I was calling on. But Lacey, where are you, Lacey? I saw you a while ago, but you got
I'm here.
Next screen.
Can you hear me?
There you are. Yeah. Tell us what your biggest takeaway was from the leaders retreat, or John Maxwell.
Definitely John Maxwell. I kind of, from the past, just seeing, I know a lot of us, people have promoted his books and things. I personally hadn't bought any of his books, and the videos that I had seen on YouTube and stuff, I totally expected a completely different person. He kind of blew me away. He was very funny, and it was just really fun to listen to, but definitely it hit home with me, talking about the law of the lid, like Rod was saying, that your team won't grow any higher than your leadership skills are. And so right after that meeting that day, when Kelton was taking a nap, I actually got on my iPad and bought his book, The 5 Levels of Leadership. And when I started digging into it, the very first of the book actually has kind of a quiz that tells you what level of leadership you're at. And it puts things into perspective. And definitely am looking forward to digging more into that book. But like he was saying, I love how he said quit microwaving leaders and start crock potting, which means we dump all this information on them, expect them to just go and do, and we can't do that. We kind of have to lead them a little bit further into things. But that was one of the big things that I picked up.
Yeah, that's great. And you know, we're learning a lot too with Bob Heilig on this whole thing about how we throw this big net out and just, you know, obviously we're looking for customers, but when we're trying to grow our team, you know, we need to be specific about the kind of person we really want to be on our team. Of course, you know, we want everybody to be customers, but when we're looking for people that are going to be leaders on our team, we're looking for specific qualities of people that are going to want to grow a business, and we have to grow ourselves into that level before we can attract those kind of people. And I think that's like really super important to find out where you fall in these 5 levels so that you can get to that next level and be specific about who it is you're looking for. And when you're talking to them, telling them that, you know, I'm looking for the kind of leader that you are in whatever it is that you're doing. And, you know, I'm looking to help people grow into leaders and to benefit from this business. So Jayla, what kind of things did you take away from John Maxwell or Leaders Retreat?
There were so many good things at Leaders Retreat. It was so exciting. And like Lacey and you guys, I enjoyed John Maxwell. I was really surprised. He was so funny. And I've read several of his books, and they're kind of dry. They're hard to read, kind of hard. And I'm a reader, so they're hard for me to get through. But I was really surprised. But my biggest takeaway was when Alec Clark was on stage and talking about how to be happy, centered, and successful. And he gave his 10 tips. And that has just been something I've really thought about over the last couple of days. And we talked about it in our team call Monday night. And I don't know if you guys want to write these down. They're really, really good. And they apply to life in general as well. They're so good. So Alex said, number 1, to be happy, centered, and successful, you don't need to make exceptions to your standards. You set your standards and you stick to it. And don't let anybody get you off course. And I love that because we're all overwhelmed. We're all busy. We're all doing a gazillion things, and life gets in the way and we get off course. And he said, don't do that. You stick to your plan. He said, number 2, to just smile. He said, people are attracted to people who smile. And he gave us the homework challenge of every day, try to smile at 5 different people. And he said, at the end of several days, you're going to find people are attracted to you and they approach you, and that kind of goes into the Bob Heilig stuff where trying to attract the right people. So smile at people. I know it sounds cheesy and just very simple, but it's true. When you're out and about and you see someone smiling back at you, hopefully you smile back and you want to approach that person. The third thing he said was to be disciplined. And this is really hard. Most of the time when I'm in a routine, I can be really disciplined and do what I need to do. But when I'm traveling, it is really hard to get back into a routine and do the things we need to do. But the best thing is just to get that routine and go. 4, he said, live the golden rule. And we all know what the golden rule is, do unto others. And so that's that was just so nice to hear him mention that. Number 5, don't complain. And if you've watched the Jennifer Wolf video, she talks about it's okay to complain about it one time, but after that, stop it and try to find a solution. You know, you complain about it, don't complain down, complain up, and then move on. Number 6, he said, keep learning, and that's what we're all doing. We were at Leaders Retreat learning. We do personal development and learn. So that was important. Number 7, he said, look up. And how many of us, we have our little magic boxes connected to our hands 24/7, and we don't stop and look up. He said, your family time is important. Make sure you're taking advantage of your family time. Number 8, he said, set goals, but then you need to write them down. If you don't write them down, they're just a dream. When you write them down, they become a plan, and we all need a plan. Number 9, be humble. We all can use a little bit of humble pie. And 10, we need to serve others. We are here to serve others, to help people find health and happiness, and so we need to work on being servant leaders. So I love that. Like I said, I've thought about that and thought about that, and it just keeps going around and around. There were a lot of good things. Tarl had some good things to say, but this was probably my biggest takeaway.
That's awesome. And you know what I love is that when you go to a leaders retreat or convention, you get to see that the company is really run by good guys. They're and ladies, but run by two guys that really have our best interests at heart, and they have integrity, and they really love their ambassadors. And so you learn that about them when you see them on stage. They're just, you know, everyday guys that really do care. And that was just an example of that when he gave his 10 things. I thought that was really great.
Yeah.
The last person I want to call on is Jessica Cox. Jessica, was this your first leaders retreat? You're gonna have to unmute yourself. You get on there and
You can unmute her.
yeah, I can unmute you. Okay, got it. Still can't hear you. Okay. So Jessica is going to turn on her speaker, but this was Jessica's first leaders retreat, and Jessica has a little bitty baby.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and she has a lot of kids, and so she is a busy mama. And when she comes back on, I'm going to ask her about that. But she just had a baby. I mean, I think that her baby's 7 weeks, so 8 weeks, something like that. Little tiny baby that she had with her at leaders retreat, and was so beautiful and cute. But the fact that she was able to earn leaders retreat while she was at the end of her pregnancy and while she had a newborn baby is amazing. And she really just put her mind to work, and she put her heart and soul into earning leaders retreat, and she got it. And she's just an amazing person. I hope that she can get her speaker to work, because I really want to hear from her.
Maybe you should go to the next one.
That was the last one.
Okay.
So anyway,
How did she do that?
I see you. She's on her iPhone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, just turn your phone the other way because you're sideways.
Okay. See, I'm new to this. Everybody says, like, you can work your business from your phone, so I'm bound and determined to figure out how to do it. So,
Okay.
but yes, it was the first leaders retreat.
Yeah. Tell us how many kids you have.
Okay, I have 16 kids. No, I'm just kidding. I have 6. They feel like 16 some days.
Yes, I understand.
6 is a lot.
Yeah.
6 is a lot.
It is. So,
and how old is your youngest one?
So the little baby is 2 months old, and she was actually born the month that I was trying to qualify, that last month of leaders retreat.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, you know, Jana, you told me, you said, girl, you know, if you really want it, you can do it. But I'm telling you now, you're going to have you're really going to have to work with having a new baby. And I was like, oh, I got this, you know, I can work it. And she was so right. You know, I was taking advantage of every, you know, those 3 a.m. nursing sessions, whatever it was. I took advantage of messaging people and, you know, or seeking out who I was going to message the next day. So I really, you know, had to be methodical. It wasn't just winging it and, you know, commenting here and there. I actually had a plan. I had written down, you know, a week out who I was going to be messaging every day from the Facebook list, printing my Facebook list. So,
right. Well, you did a great job. Congratulations on getting your first leaders retreat. I was so happy to see you there.
And your husband?
Yeah, I brought the whole thing. It was fun. So, I mean, I just remember you guys from the beginning, and some of the other videos I watched too, people kept saying, you know, doesn't matter, anybody can make it to leaders retreat, even if you're silver. And I kept thinking, like, there's really no way. You really need a team underneath you to take advantage of all of those compounding points from your new ambassadors. But I sat down, I did the math, and I broke it down, and they were right. I'm still silver, and I made it to leaders retreat. So Jayla touched on Alex tips, and Lacey, you stole all, and Jana, y'all stole all the good stuff from John Maxwell, which everything he said was good. So really, all that was left, you guys, was all the fun parties. So that's what y'all are missing out on is, you know, next year, if nothing else, it's really fun. They know how to throw a party. And there is nothing more exciting than just celebrating and getting to mingle and meet all of the people that we see on Facebook, and just meet all the precious personalities and the women, the men, the moms, the grandmas. It's really neat what all we have in common, even from different teams. It really, you see that whole one Plexus mentality come out at these events, and people don't care who's on whose team. We all Facebook friend each other, and to me, that gives you a lot of content. So let me step back. Whenever we won Leaders Retreat or earned it, I was a little bit stuck on, do I take the offer? They offered us money to stay home and watch the live stream because they had so many people qualify for Leaders Retreat. And I was almost tempted at first to do that because financially that made more sense. But I also knew that there's something about being present. Just like Jayla was saying, being present and not just being on our phones and looking down. But there's also something to be said for being present at events. And you really get to jump in and feel the excitement and get the momentum going for you personally. And then you can share that with your team. And so that was kind of one of my goals, was while I was there to really portray to all my friends on Instagram how much fun being in Plexus was. It's not just great products. It's not just a great financial opportunity, but it's like sorry, Rod, it's a sisterhood, or a brotherhood, I guess, for some. But, it's like we're like one big sorority. We all have fun, encourage each other. And I cannot tell you, I've had so many people since I've been back that are not even in Plexus, that have never responded to a Plexus post, that say, oh my gosh, your trips look like so much fun. Tell me about it. What did y'all do? Why were you there? And so it just shows that different things are going to catch different people. And I feel like gotten so busy posting about the benefits of the products that I probably haven't shared some of the other benefits of Plexus, like the sisterhood, And so for me, I walked away saying, okay, I need to be showing the whole picture to everybody and not just bits and pieces of what Plexus is about. So that was my big takeaway, is show the fun stuff, show the parties. And hey, we were all able to enjoy them better because we're on Plexus. We had the energy to stay up late and be there early in the morning for our sessions.
Yeah, absolutely. The fun parts were really great. And that's kind of the hard thing to really portray back to people, is how much fun it actually is. It's really hard to take that many pictures or videos to really show people the excitement, the branding. We talked about how amazing the branding was this year. We try to take pictures, but there's no way you can do it justice. Even going up the escalators, there's Plexus on the railings of the escalators. Everywhere you look, there's just details. And then the food that they give us is just, amazing, fancy, great food at every event.
In comparison to the other companies that come in, and we stayed afterwards, and you see other companies come in for their event. Mm-hmm. And you don't see all that branding.
There's no branding and there's no energy. Me and Rob usually stay a day after everybody leaves. We didn't do that this year, but usually we do. And all the excitement leaves when Plexus event is over, and the hotel becomes a boring place again.
I actually talked to somebody that works there and said we were a fun group.
Yeah, they said everyone is happy, everyone's having fun. Usually we don't have that kind of, usually it's doctor conferences and different things that, everybody's kind of in their own little world, but it really is that way. It's like a big party when Plexus is there. And then as soon as it's over, everything rolls up and it becomes back to a normal hotel again. And so there's really, there's no way to bring back that excitement, but you guys just need to get there next year. So that you can grow your business and learn, and like Jessica said, there is no way that you could experience that live streaming at home, which somebody else brought up about Super Saturday. They're combining a lot of the Super Saturdays, and they're not having as many locations this year, so they're going to live stream it on January the 6th instead of having as many locations. I would highly suggest that unless you're like a really, really long way from one of the locations, that you get with your team and get to one of the locations so that you can experience it live. If you are anywhere close to Dallas, for the Irving location, Oklahoma, Houston, anywhere around here, you guys are all invited to come to our house for that weekend, and we will be hosting it at our house, not hosting it. We're all going to be going in convoys to the actual location, but you guys, we are going to set up air mattresses, and we are going to have a big slumber party here at our house. So everyone is welcome. Hopefully we'll have our pool by then, and we'll heat it up, and we'll have a big pool party. So as many people as we can fit in our house, we will send the kids somewhere else, and we will have a big party here. So if you want to fly here, if you want to drive here, or if you're closer to another location, do that with your team. You guys all go stay at a hotel room together or somewhere where you can all be at the location if possible. There will be people that can't make it to a location, and that's why they're live streaming it. But if you possibly can make it, it is so much better in person, especially if you can have some social event with your team or even other teams before or after the event, which is what we're going to do here. So you guys consider yourself invited to our house, whether you live here locally or in Dallas or Houston or Oklahoma City or wherever.
I think the fact is they're so limited of the locations that.
Well, they really just wanted to make each venue a much bigger event.
Right.
So they're trying to have like mini conventions in the different areas instead of some of the locations, you know, were not as popular. So there were only like 75 people there. So they really want these venues to be a lot bigger and create more excitement like a convention would. And so that's why they're minimizing it down to the different locations. But anyway, you guys consider yourself invited here.
But that's a good opportunity for them to pay if they're distant.
If you're too far
have a party
to drive, yes, have a party at your house, invite your team. We can go ahead and post that whenever it gets closer and we know more about that. We can post the different locations and whoever's hosting in that area. If you guys wanted to open up your house to that would be great. We can have lots of little things going on all over the country, was what we would love to do. So most of you have heard about the new reformulated X Factor for kids. We're all really super excited about that product. The great thing about it is that we can now talk about the kids' testimonies when it comes to the probiotic and the vitamin. We can talk about what it's doing as long as we stay compliant with it. We can now talk about kids where we weren't supposed to anyway, ever talk about kids' benefits before, and now we can. Really excited about that, to where if you do have a child that is on probiotic or Probio 5, you can now put them on the X Factor. It has probiotics in it, which is really, really great. It's one product, you know, they can chew it, and my daughter loved it. We tried it, and Lacey posted a video of her son trying it today. It was so cute, and he loved it too. So we are really excited about that product. And then the new back office is coming next weekend, November the 5th, I think they said it was it the 5th? We are going to be so much better off when we get our new back office. And, you know, we may have to go through a little bit of bumpiness. I don't know. Hopefully they've had it all tested, because it's taken them a really long time to test everything and get it all squared away. So hopefully it'll be really smooth, and we're just going to pray for a very smooth transition. But whatever happens, we're going to be way better off with the new system than we are now. So we have a lot more freedom, a lot more capability of doing things that we couldn't do with the system that we have now, because their hands are so tied with the company that they went with. So we're really, really excited about that. Somebody's asking, where do we find out where the locations were? We took a picture of it. We will post that in the Rockin' Group so that you guys will have a picture of the locations. I don't know if we already posted that or not, but either way we can post it again so that you guys can know where the locations are. But Super Saturday, please make sure that you get there however way, either at somebody's house, host one at your house, or go to an actual event. Anything to add?
Well, one thing I learned from one of the trainings that I went to recently, or listened to recently, talked about events, and we've mentioned it before. It's crucial that, you know, if you really want to succeed in this, is you're going to have to go to every event possible. And even if you've already been to an opportunity event,
yes,
you need to go to an opportunity event again. I heard this one guy say that he used to go to them, and he could be dead tired because he had just got off of work, and he went to this event, and then he would like fall asleep at the event. But you know what? His team saw him there. Even though he was tired, they knew that he put effort to get there, and his team grew because he made an effort to get to events, and so
Right.
he's just stated how crucial it was.
Well, and it's just like these calls as well. I mean, everyone on this call right now should be taking a picture of your screen so that you can show your team that you were on this call and posting that on your wall and saying, you know, I had some great training tonight. We had so much fun on our team call. And that way your team members know that you were on, you know, post it in your team group or wherever on your wall and show them that you are taking advantage of this. Whenever it's so true, because whenever there's an opportunity meeting within driving distance where I can go, I will try to get there as best as I can. I try to be on as many calls as I can be on. If there's an opportunity meeting where there's a Jewel speaking or a Diamond, I will make an effort to go. I don't care how many times I hear the opportunity. It's always beneficial to hear it again, because the more times you hear it, the better you become at sharing it, and the more motivation and the more belief that you have, because you're hearing testimonies and you're hearing other people talk about the opportunity, and it helps you be more confident when you're sharing it.
Yeah, the thing I get out of it is we always stress, you know, to learn is to earn, you know, but you're also going to be, I think, like you said, the more events you go to, you kind of lose that fear, because now you have all this knowledge here, and you almost sometimes will amaze yourself at the things that you're like, you remember, and you start, you know, you're able to just convey, where before you're like stuck and you didn't know what to say. So.
Yeah, and people want to become part of things. You know, when people see that you're doing something, like Jessica said, a sisterhood or a brotherhood, when people see that you're a part of something like that, they want to be part of it too. They see, you know, oh my gosh, there's, you know, 40 people on this call. They're obviously doing something right, because they've got all these people going to leaders retreat. They're taking pictures. They're having fun. They're at an opportunity meeting, or they're at a training meeting. All this stuff just shows people your belief, and it shows your team members that you're out there learning. You're doing what it takes to help other people succeed. So they're going to want to do it too. And so it's really important for you guys to show your leaders, even if they're not on the calls, that you're on the calls, and that, you know, you're personally inviting them to the calls. And if you can get your level ones to be like, to personally invite them to these calls, it makes a big difference, because a lot of people will not come on a call unless they're personally invited, and you remind them, hey, you know what, tonight's the call, don't forget, I'm going to be on there, and I really want to see you on there too. That makes a huge difference to a lot of people, and that's the level of leadership that you're going to get to where you are still learning, and they know you're still learning, so they're going to want to follow you. So that is all we have for tonight, unless you guys have questions. I would love for you guys to, I'm going to post in the Rocking group, and I would love for you to put your takeaways in the comments. If you were at Leaders Retreat, please post a tip or two of what you learned, what you loved about it. And if you weren't, and you're on this call right now, I'd love to hear what you learned from this call, so that we can show other people and other members of the Rocking group how important these calls are and how beneficial they are to your business. Because when you post your comments, more people see it, and not just other people, but your own team members will see that you're interacting in the group. And what that does, if Lacey posts, which she always does, if Lacey posts a comment in the Rocking group, then her team members are more likely to comment in her team group, because they see that you're connecting to the larger group, and they're going to see that's what they're supposed to do. It's all about being duplicatable and reproducing what you're doing. So I would love it. I so appreciate when you guys do that, but I'm going to post that in the Rocking group, and you guys can all comment what your takeaways were. So we appreciate you guys all coming on and giving us your feedback, and thanks, Rod, for being on the call with me.
Thanks for inviting me.
And we will see you guys next week, and we will see you on Facebook in the Rocking group. Thanks so much. Bye.
No music.